Hi and welcome. I'm Jen. I'm a holistic family consultant, and I'm here to help you create relationships with your close, important people that meet everyone's needs, everyone can thrive, and don't sacrifice or minimize any of the important parts of you or your people. And we're talking today about the Get What You Need workbook. So if you don't already have a copy of that, you can go to my website and it's on the homepage. It's free to download. And this is a workbook to help you figure out what you need and how to get those needs met so that you can thrive and not be sacrificing your needs to try to meet everybody else's needs. And in particular, we're talking about for parents of children, but this could be true with partners. This could be true with sacrificing your needs for your job, or any other situation in which your needs are not getting met well enough and you're suffering because of it. So we're going to talk about there's four steps to this, and then there's kind of a bonus step, which is if there's a conflict between your need and somebody else's need. So we're going to talk about how to figure out your needs, how to identify what they are in the first place. Then we're going to talk about beliefs about needs, and these might be things that are getting in the way of needs being met, and they might be true or they might be unhelpful scripts that we've learned and that it would be more helpful to dismantle. The third part is we'll be talking about skills. And these are things that can be learned and developed in order to help you more skillfully get your needs met. And then we'll be talking about creative problem solving, which this is the part where you actually figure out what you do to meet your needs. But we have to do the other stuff first, or else the creative problem solving won't do any good, and we won't be in that creative space. And so then we'll talk about the conflicts between needs. This is going to be over the course of several videos, and there's a playlist attached to this. So the link to get the workbook from my website and to the whole playlist are in the description below the video if you need those. But in the interest of not making this overwhelmingly long, we're going to do this in pieces. So one thing I really want to get out up front is that in the interest of not making this workbook take up too many pieces of paper, I didn't make the places to write enormous. So if you are someone who really likes to journal and like write out a lot of your thoughts, that's super awesome. And it is not my intention to restrict you in how much you write in response to the prompts in this workbook. So if you need more space, feel free to use as much paper, grab a journal, grab, scrap paper from the recycling, use the back side of the sheets. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. But it is not my intention to say you can only write this much. I just was really trying to not make this an overwhelming amount of paper to print. If you need more help as you go through this, that's totally normal. This is intended to be a process that you can work through, that you can understand the parts of this, and that can be used as an ongoing tool. But it's also normal. You probably are in the position of a need not being met for good reason, and there may be things that need help to be untangled in that. So if you have a question about the workbook, you don't understand a question, you're not sure what something means, something like that, that's great. You're welcome to email me, and I'm happy to answer those kinds of questions. Or even a like, I feel like I'm kind of stuck. I'm not really sure what to do about this. Again, you're welcome to email me, and I'm happy to answer questions. But if you need more help, like untangling a belief or figuring out what is actually going to work for me, for my family, for my situation, or you need help developing the skills that you identify that you need in order to get your needs met, that's what I do. So feel free to reach out. I do a free 20-minute call to see whether or not we're a good fit. There's no pressure or anything. So if it seems like you could maybe use some more help, get in touch with me. And if I'm not the right person to help you, I'll be happy to try to connect you to whatever resources might be able to help. Another thing I want to name for you up front is that it's okay if this takes days or weeks. I want to invite you to set aside any kind of finish the assignment mentality that's ingrained in you. It's also fine if you sit down and go cover to cover and work it all out. That's great too. But I know that sometimes when we're thinking about these questions and we really want to think about them at a deep level and give them the space and care that they deserve, especially if these are kind of new for you, it might take a while. And that's why I'm inviting you to take like one question and think about it as you go about your day. Allow that insight to pop up while you're in the shower or you're driving or whatever. And you don't have to like sit down staring at the workbook thinking about it. You don't have to like rush through the whole thing. You can take as much time as you need. You can take breaks. I want to invite you to experiment and play and bring an attitude of like, I don't know what's going to work, but we're going to try stuff and figure it out. And please do email if you get stuck because, uh, yeah, bringing in an outside perspective is often the thing that we need to just like nudge out of that stuck place. This also isn't expected to be something that you just finish and you're done with. You know, when you go through this, it's very possible that you'll be like, wow, I need 5 things. Or you might identify one real need and then be like, wow, there are like 3 or 4 beliefs that I would like to untangle about this. Or there's several skills I'd like to build. Or I can think of like half a dozen ways I might be able to meet this need. And the intention is kind of to take one piece, one need, and then explore the beliefs, and then pick one of those beliefs to work with. And then when we identify the skills, pick one to work on for now. And with the strategies, you're going to pick one to try out and see how it goes. And the whole idea is not like, and that's the one and you're finished. The idea is like, okay. And then once maybe you've tried that, you've seen whether or not it works, and maybe you realize like, okay, I'm going to go develop another skill and then see what that opens up for me. Or maybe I'm going to explore another belief and see if that helps give me some more creativity about how I could work with this need. Or maybe you figure out a strategy that works really well and you're like, great, my need for sleep is being met so much better now. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning and I'm going to look at my need for quiet and time alone, something like that. So the intention is that this is a workbook that can be an iterative process and that you can come back to, and that you can look at, you know, one piece, because one piece is like digestible and manageable. And then when that one piece is kind of handled more or less, then you can come look at another piece. And then you can do that as many times as you need to. And also that as your life changes, you know, when you change jobs, when you move, when you have a relationship begin or end, when you have a child, when your child grows and enters a new developmental phase, as your needs change, you know, things will come up because life keeps lifing in the meantime. And things will come up where a need that used to be super handled is now like really difficult. Or a new need comes up, and that's okay. This is intended to be a living process that you can come back to as much as you need to. Uh, all right, so we're gonna come back in the next video. Will be more about the first actual section of the workbook, identifying needs. This is kind of the general overview and the invitation to work with this in a way that works for you, that meets your needs, and that you can always reach out for help and support anytime that you need it as you work through this. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me at my website or email me.